I am going to give Mr. William Kane his own personal stock market crash.
The third and final part of Kane and Abel can be seen tomorrow evening at 9:30 here on BBC One. In an hour from now, Desmond Lynham introduces World Cup Grandstand, which includes highlights of today's matches, including live coverage of the game between Bulgaria and South Korea. In the meantime, Sir Robin Day is the referee for an hour of topical debate in Question Time.
Hello and welcome to another Question Time for 60 minutes of lively argument on topical questions raised by our audience here. And around the table with me, the Right Honourable Peter Walker, MP, Secretary of State for Energy since 1983. His previous cabinet posts have been Environment, Trade and Industry and Agriculture. He first became a cabinet minister long ago under Mr. Edward Heath at the age of only 38. Scarcely a week has passed in recent years without some speculation about Mr. Walker's future. Would he resign? Would he be sacked? Would he ever be promoted? Is he still a future Prime Minister? Anyway, Peter Walker has stayed where he is and has fought his corner in Cabinet longer than any of the well-known One Nation Tory whips. The Right Honourable Foot MP was leader of the Labour Party for 3 years until 1983. He had been leader of the House of Commons and Employment Secretary. Mr. Foot came late to power. He did not achieve ministerial office until he was over 60. Earlier, his reputation had been as a fiery backbench orator, as a campaigning left-wing journalist, and as the devoted biographer of Aneurin Bevan. Mr. Foot's latest book is called Loyalists and Loners, which includes some political character sketches brilliantly written of, among others, Tony Benn, David Owen, and Enoch Powell. Miss Margaret Clay is political secretary of the Association of Liberal Councillors. That association, which is based in Yorkshire, services Liberal councillors throughout the country. And it's a pressure group for radical policies and sometimes creates trouble for David Steele and the Liberal establishment. Margaret Clay has stood twice for Parliament and is a Leeds City Councillor and has been a member of the now abolished West Yorkshire Metropolitan County Council. Peter Jenkins is an independent political columnist for Rupert Murdoch's Sunday Times, and he recently visited Moscow for several days. Previously, for 24 years, Peter Jenkins wrote for The Guardian as a political columnist and earlier as an industrial correspondent. He also writes plays for stage and television. His first play, I can't remember if it was a farce or a tragedy, was about a Labour Party conference, and it was set in the Imperial Hotel, Blackpool, and it was called Illumination. It was a very promising play, and was as stimulating as Shaw and as witty as Wilde, but the number of lines given to me in the part of a television commentator were lamentably few. There we are, and here we go with the first question from Paul Joachim, who is a businessman. Mr. Joachim, please.
Does the news that electricity prices are to be reduced imply that gas prices will now be allowed to drop? And has Britain got its long-term energy strategy about right?
Secretary of State.